Focus. Live. Keep rolling.
And car gals, it's Lou Ramirez, the car guy,
and it's Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero, and we are here.
Look at all of these people that are on the show.
We're at the NOW event, folks, because it's going on right now. It's ending. We just finished up. We just wrapped up a beautiful day with these amazing speakers that we see right here in front of us, and these team of solutionaries that are just doing things in this automotive industry that are blowing my mind. I'm so excited to be sitting here with these three, I should say. Robert's right over there, folks. If y'all don't know who Robert Crowley is, folks,
what's up, everybody?
You're missing out. He's the man. He's doing some things. He's growing. He's been doing some amazing stuff, and man, I'm so excited to be here. What are you thinking, Lou?
Man, I'm thinking that this is a perfect time for you to go ahead and tag a car guy, tag a car gal, and share. What's going on, Steven? How are you? Share this around. Go ahead and give us a coffee cup emoji. But car guys and car gals, we have absolute geniuses, royalty in the car business that is right here, right now, inside of the cafe, which isn't really the cafe. This is like an honorary cafe, right? There's been a lot of brewing solutions that's been happening here at this NOW event. How excited are you all to be here at this event?
I tell you what, I've been dying to get on this show. Why is it taking me this long to be invited on the show?
Well, we've been waiting for now, right?
Just for this moment. Now, I love that Brad said that, because let me tell you something. You know, I've been a fan of Brad's for the very first moment I met him. We actually got to sit next to him at the last NOW event, and he was right there to my right. And the whole time he was so captivating. He was involved the whole time. Like when it came to conversation, you were always talking about what was going on. You weren't sitting there just kind of resting on your laurels. You were not just sharing, but you were learning and you were inputting stuff. Oh, yeah. And I know that since then you've actually implemented some of those things, which is really cool. And which is what's so exciting about this event and being with somebody like Brad Wise. Folks, Brad Wise, he runs Ferman Chevrolet here in Tampa, Florida, and they killing numbers over there. He has some massive
field trip.
Yeah, we get to go there tomorrow. I'm so excited, dude. So pumped up. So why don't you tell everybody about your experience today and what you got to do?
Well, you know, when you get in a room of dealers that have best practices like they do, you know, it's just something innate inside me. I want to learn from them. I mean, I just never been that type of person where I think I know it all. And maybe it's just insecurity that I have, that I want to, whatever it is, it works for me because I'm always a sponge. I'm a lifelong learner, and being in a room of people like-minded, that sort of a mastermind kind of way, you know, we all go through the same struggles, have the same opportunities, and finding different ways to handle those things. I picked up a whole page full of stuff. So I was really happy to be here.
I know today I picked up a couple tips from you. And one of the things I really love that you said was hire talent. That's what you focus on the most, is looking for people that are going to come in and do the job the way that you want them to do the job. Right. And what I love about that is that when you focus on that and you surround yourself with greatness, and we talk about this all the time, surround yourself with good beans, right? Brew with good beans. So when you have good beans around you, it's going to be a much better tasting coffee or a much better tasting process for your customers out there. Now, that doesn't just stop there for you. And I love that, because you don't just stop with, hey, I need to get talent in the store. Because once you get the talent, you got to make sure they implement your process with management. And management has to stay on top of that too and remember their names, right? Especially after a month. I remember you talking about that too. And it was just really cool. You made some really good points. That stuff that I'm going to take down and I'm going to share with other people. Let's start hiring for talent. Matter of fact, I looked at Lou during that and I said, Lou, because we're getting ready to help somebody with the hiring campaign. I was like, that's what we need to do. We need to look for that type of situation there. So I love what you had to say about that. And it's right on the money.
Yes, absolutely on the money. And there's something else that's with that, is that you are in here showing your best practices to hire some of the best talent that you get. Because folks, the gift that you have of being able to do something or brew a solution is meant for you to give it. It's meant for you to share it. Because ultimately you open up the door for more people to pour back into you later on. But he's showing so many great ways for you to recruit people. Now, you're inside of the Sunshine State, right? We're here in Tampa. It's very easy to get everybody excited about the weather, right? And about bringing their entire family across country, especially if you're talking to people that are in like cold country, right? It makes it really, really easy to get them out here.
Good people are solutionaries.
Come on, bring
They
it.
have the solutions out there on the lot when customers or guests are on the lot. They have those solutions. But granted, Tampa is a mecca. It's a place where people want to move anyway.
No doubt.
But if you look at somebody like Glenn Lundy in Kentucky, right? Nothing against Kentucky,
No.
right? But he was able to do the same thing. It's the
Mhm.
culture of the store.
100%.
And what else did he do? He put it on social media for everybody to see. That's how I found him.
Wow.
He was doing Saturday morning meetings live on Facebook when no one was doing it. He got my attention. Fast forward years later, I hired him to help our team. So, you can do it anywhere, even though it is an advantage to be in Tampa.
Yes, you can.
Where it's
And
beautiful sunshine and beaches and low state tax.
But he's right.
That's right.
For you guys who don't know who Glenn Lundy is a special automotive guy, just a genius, a good friend of ours. He's a good mentor of mine, somebody that I take a lot of notes from too. But when he was working at a store where when he got there, they were selling out a great month was 200. By the time he was leaving, they were averaging over 800 and they had busted 1,000 and they did it on a short month. And I remember he talks about that every time he says, oh, we did 1,027 cars on a short month.
Yeah.
Right. And that's so amazing. And I know I've been to Dan Cummings and that store, Josh and Dusty, great people, great owners. They do some amazing things. They're passing on that legacy that they got from their father and they're taking it to the next level, much like this guy right over here is. But we'll talk about that in a second. But what I loved about that is Glenn did come in there, help them get that process better, bump them over that. Now he's, it's what I love about Glenn is he was like, man, I've done it. What's the next thing? So now he's trying to help dealers like you grow to become to that next level. Now he's talking about 900 cars, folks. That's a crazy number, especially with as much competition right up and down the street. You can go 5 miles. There's going to be tons of dealers out there, but yet he's being able to do that. And he's doing it with his talent. He's doing it with having the right management in there that understand their staff and really train their staff and take care of their staff. And he's doing it with optimistic views that he shows on social media. I freaking love it. That's how he hires. That's how he sells. That's how he shows love to his team. That's how he does a lot of bit of everything is using that social media tool. It's called Facebook.
How much does that cost?
It's $0, my friends. That's
Cents.
the craziest part about it. We all have this tool. There's not a person here that does not have that tool. So you people, like he said earlier, conspiracy theory guys about Facebook. Listen, I wasn't on Facebook till 2 years ago either. And it wasn't a conspiracy thing. I just didn't feel like I needed it. I was sitting in a finance office and I just was like, what's the point? But then I realized I did need it for multiple reasons. One, to put my brand out there. Two, which is the most important, was to get education. You can find education anywhere you want from people like Brad, from people like David, from people like Robert over there, from people like Glenn Lundy. I could keep naming names. David Villa. I could keep going and going.
Myers.
That's
What's
right.
up, brother?
Tracy Myers, man. Another one of those superstars out there. Lou Ramirez, all these guys. We try to learn things and we try to educate and we share. The best thing about all these people that are even here at this mastermind or anyone is that when they have that knowledge, they are willing to give it to you. They want to pass it to you. Now, here's the thing. We all know this, and this is why I think most people will pass it. It's because they know that you could bring a horse to water. That doesn't mean they're going to drink it. Now, you can tell every competitor up and down the street how you do what you do, but 99% of them won't do anything about it. They're just going to sit there and go, well, that's really cool. So, and that's what I've come to find.
So in coming to find different things and talking about social media, I've seen my man David Moss Jr. on
He's got some hair right now,
social
though.
media. He's grew his hair back, folks. Listen, I saw some incredible things that he's been doing with his team to get them involved inside of the community, to be able to build up funds, to be able to help people that cannot give back, right? And what I absolutely love, and I just can't tell you the value of it. And you are, of course, in good company being over here at the IPD agency, is that before you got into your entire part today, you made sure to start it off right. He got us opened up with prayer, right? You got that cornerstone put in place so that we could have a great event and everybody's ground was broke up just enough to be able to have something poured into us. So welcome to the Car Guy Coffee podcast, my man, David Moss Jr. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys.
So thankful to have you here.
Well, like Brad, I've seen the show and I've always wondered what I got to do to get on it. So thanks for, this is a great day. This is a great day that we're both like,
but it's like, it goes both ways. We're so excited to have you.
The
both
bucket
on.
list.
Right.
It's
It's
a
a
bucket
bucket
list
list
for
for
us.
us too. So it's kind of like, it's weird. I guess we need to talk more.
Yeah.
I mean, we know this a little bit better, but I could
Right.
tell you, I'm glad you're here, brother.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for joining us.
no, it was great. And this whole thing is just amazing. What Dave and the team here at IPD do is really cool. First time I had a conversation with Dave and came here, you could feel like a good energy, a good vibe, like just a good spirit around here. And it was it's easy to say yes when Dave asks, one,
Mhm.
because it's 20 minutes from my house, but two, because you know you're going to be in good company. And I think that that's what's awesome about, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like a breakthrough in automotive. I feel like not only, like Brad said, are we bringing really good talent into automotive, but really good people with good morals and want to take care of customers. You know, it's hard to train someone who's a hustler to take care of people where that person's going to want to come back to you.
Right.
But when you have a good person who's talented, like we're filling our stores with, customers have a good experience. They feel good about it. There's good follow-up, good follow-through, and then they repeat and they come back and they send their friends, and it creates a really good door of business for us, but also for the customer.
It creates low-hanging fruit. What I mean by that is, at first you're going to have to plant the seed. You're going to have to spend the time doing all the right things, not harvesting, but making sure it's watered, the sun's on it, that it's getting everything it needs, and then you finally get the harvest. But once you do that and you have that harvest, it's actually that much easier. You're going to start getting more and more and more, and then that low-hanging fruit's everywhere. Like, that's by creating that. Now, it takes time. You know, Brad mentioned earlier that, you know, you can't just expect to hire somebody and have them turn around a store in 2 to 3 months. It's impossible. You can get lucky, but it's really impossible to keep it a consistent level of that. It takes time. So you got to give somebody an opportunity through time. Now, one thing I do love, and we're talking about talent, is there is talent in this room right now. We got Robert over there, and that's somebody that Brad had brought into the dealership. Now, Robert, you come from a BDC background, right?
BDC, internet background, pretty diverse. Was lucky to get in the business early when BDC was kind of first getting started. So it was a big blessing. And, you know, if you're not BDC or internet these days, you don't really understand what's happening.
100%. And, you know, we heard that in the room today. We heard that a lot of people, it's, you know, we heard the terms cradle to grave. We heard, you know, being turned over, multiple people touching. Everyone has a different look at how a car deal should happen. But I do believe, and I know, and I shouldn't say believe, I know that the future is us being more digital and having our salespeople and our staff more aware of that, being better on the phones, being able to get customers at their place of business, their home, because a lot of people don't want to come in anymore. A lot of people want this touchless. I want to just know what it is. I want to show up and buy the vehicle. But then there's other people like me. I just show up and I buy something if I like it, right? I get with the right salesperson. I fall in love, and we're going to do it that way. But that still has to be able to understand what a BDC, what internet looks like, and be able to do all that to be able to really deliver a car. I think selling a car is easy once you build love and rapport and all that type of stuff between the two people, the customer, and then the dealership or whatever it is, you know, the salesperson.
So, speaking of building love, right? There's something that you've built with your people, and you talked about it today a little bit. You talked about the tears that came when people were able to see their checks, right? When they were able to see what kind of checks they could have inside of an industry that really can open up doors to people living their dreams out. And a lot of times we've stumbled into this business, right? I know I stumbled into this business, right? Yeah. This is a second generation dealer right here that is also doing things to go to the next level. But there's still something about seeing that person that's never seen a check like that because of the work that they put in. And a lot of times it's so easy that they're like, how I shouldn't even get this much money.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I mean, isn't that incredible that this business and even this message, like right now, we're connecting right here, Cher de la Cruz up in Canada, and hollering over at Michael Dooley in Australia. What's going on, mate? So excited to see you here with us today. But there's so much that this business can do all throughout continents. I mean, we're crossing countries right now talking about these solutions. But when you see this, so being a second generation dealer, right, you seeing the things that happen inside of this business, what is it that gets you to keep trying to push the envelope to go to that next level when you hear people giving checks like that, seeing tears like that? What is it that fires you up about hearing those stories?
I just love people, and I love hearing the story. That's why when I started today and talked about really the how people end up into the car business, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I didn't mean for that to turn into
great add-on. It was.
It rolled into a lot of
it did.
Everybody started their speech with that, and it was really neat. We got to learn a lot about people, and I just love hearing people's stories because I feel like everyone has one, and not everyone gets to share them. And it's kind of neat when you get to hear someone's how they ended up in the car business. And then why they're there, you know, because typically most people don't grow up as a kid in middle school saying, I can't wait to be in the car business. Yeah. You know, it's great. I didn't say that. And I'm an owner's kid. I grew up around the car dealership. We used to make, me and my buddies, you know, who would go to the car dealerships on Bring Your Kids to Work Day that I grew up with, we would make water balloons and throw them at customers. Like, we would do bad, stupid things but it was all tolerable back then. And it's changed a lot. And I got to see just how this industry can change lives, not just financially, but really it can turn you into a great communicator.
Yeah.
I wasn't a great communicator in school. I wasn't a great reader in school. I wasn't a great student in school. But as soon as I became a part of the big boys club in the automotive industry, I felt like a steward of the business. And I've started to learn a lot more about communicating, a lot more about just life outside of just selling cars. And I feel like it's made me a better father, a better husband, a better son, just a better person. And the things you can learn inside of like a car dealership can go with you no matter where you end up in life.
Man, he said the word steward there. There's something that's very important about that. For those of you that are watching this live right now, or going to hear this on the podcast, being a steward of what it is that you have, whether it's your time, your resources. We talked today a bit about understanding what to do when we're at the top of the mountain, right? Where all of these dealers are making so much more money per deal, but they're forgetting the importance of being able to be innovative now that they're at the top of the mountain. Right now that they're able to experiment. Now we have Robert over here that has an incredible leader with him that empowers him to do great things. Right. So what is it on your side, Robert, that you enjoy most about being able to have somebody that's so not just pioneering, but just so unafraid to try stuff? Yeah, right. I mean, to break the mold. How empowering is that to you?
It's amazing. So it kind of starts with the how, right? How I found Brad and how we connected. It was actually through a podcast. Through an Auto Dealer Live podcast back in the day, believe it or not. So I am the example of everything he talked about today with how you recruit, how you can learn, and how you can grow, right? So I found myself looking for a new position. I saw about a month ago that he moved to Tampa. I messaged him on Facebook. We've only talked once before that, and next the rest is history. But when you work for somebody that empowers you, and for all the leaders out there, when you empower your people and you encourage them to learn, you have to understand that you're not just doing that to change them. You know, if you put the time in personally with them and you change them as a person, you're going to get what you want out professionally. That's when you get it. So, I mean, he encouraged me to really get into self-development and reading and, you know, money management. And a lot of things that he taught me when I first started with him was not just professional, but personal. And that transferred over into professional. So when you care about him personally, that's when the professional follows.
It's 100% true. That's a culture of love. That's a caffeinated culture of growth. So what it is that a lot of people, and we've talked about this, there's those personalities out there that they're just blah, right? They're just blah people. So when they hire on somebody that threatens their blah, makes them have to step up, or they look like they don't know what they're doing, now they start to try to do everything to let that person fail. But instead, if you have that complete opposite where you're just excited and you don't care if somebody is better at you than closing a deal. Matter of fact, I'm going to hire people who are better at me at a lot of things because that's how I look better and that's how I get better at what I do. And that's what a good leader does. A leader knows his weaknesses or her weaknesses, and then they find people that are strong in those spots and they put them in there, and then they allow them to be great at those things. That's how you become great as a company, and that's how you go from good to great really fast, and that's how you become super like solutionary, right? And that's the word I'm looking for, right? So and it's truth though, you know. And there was a lot of great conversation about that today, and there was a lot of great dealers inside that room, great vendors inside that room, just talking about technology, talking about all this stuff. But let's just take technology out the window and let's just talk about treating people like people, not like how we want to treat a neighbor, but how we want to treat ourselves, right? And that's the biggest thing, you know. And I think that if we do that with our employees, like, as if you treat him like that's you, like that's if he was you when you were a kid. I mean, the same thing. When you're a young person, you would want that treatment allowed to you. You're going to do the same thing. Now you're going to have to trust him to do so. And you do that. That's why you hired him. You hired him based off of his laurels, what he could do, what his best skills was. And he's turned that into something massive. Then you added new skills. You sent him to Tony Robbins. You did all these things that empower them and show them, hey, take massive action in life. Do all these things. Be more than just what you were yesterday. Matter of fact, just get 1% better every day, and you're going to get so far in life if you just do that. So that's the power of good leadership.
You got something on that?
I got one thing. It's been just sitting there. I've been wanting to say it. So like they say like generational curses, like you always become what you don't want to become because you're focused so much on that. I feel like unfortunately a lot of people get promoted, they get that opportunity, and everything they said to all their friends, if I ever got the opportunity to be a manager, I would not be boom. I would not do this. I would not be that. They're focused so much on what they don't want to become that they become it. Yeah. See, I'm blessed that I consider my dad to be one of my best friends, but also I consider him to be probably the best car guy I've ever known. He's taught me so much, and he's opened the door for me so much to learn and to be able to explore and experiment different things. Like in our dealerships, it's kind of, you know, some people might think it's crazy. We have our own radio station. It's all positive Christian music, and we play it at every one of our dealerships. It's not that we're trying to push faith on anybody. It's just a good positive music that tells you like you're more than you're more than the situation you're going through right now. I don't care what your faith is. It feels good, and it puts you in a good mindset to go serve people. And he's gave the freedom to do that. And he gives the freedom to come to these events and learn more and continue to expand. Heck, last night we had a little dinner, and he gave a speech about heart, desire, and loyalty. And those are the three things that, HDL, huddle. Those are the three things that he's grown. Like he's always thought about as he's grown through the car business. And I would consider him one of the best car guys in the industry, but he's all about heart. He looks at someone's heart, not so much their track record, but their heart. Is their heart in the right place? Is their desire to win in alignment with his or above? And how's their loyalty? Like we were talking, hey, don't recruit I would never recruit from you because your people are loyal. And I don't think you would ever recruit from me because my people are loyal as well. But the second one of your guys wants to leave and go move somewhere or do something different, I would talk to him. And I'm sure the same thing. But that loyalty from your staff, that means the world to us. Because we're also loyal to them. The fact that you would send your employees to a motivational seminar, Tony Robbins, that's huge, man. There's a lot of leaders out there. There's a lot of leaders out there, not just in the car business, that are afraid of their employees becoming better and smarter than them. But that's like the opposite. Look at Elon Musk. I mean, it's working out well for him. He surrounds himself with people way smarter than him. And they just make things come together.
You know, and sorry, I don't mean to chat much, but I just got to say, you know, a real quick shout out to Brad, because what Brad does, and I love, is he goes around his showroom and he walks his showroom. When I say he walks his showroom, he doesn't just sit there and just look from afar. He actually engages with his employees. He talks to them. He can tell when somebody is off. Like, I love what he talked about. It's so true. When you walk out and you can feel like a different, almost like it's like a different air, like what's going on, and you could see what it is, and you go up to him, and because you have the heart that you are and the leader that you are, you'll go out and actually ask them, hey, what's going on? You know, is something going on at home, or, you know, do you need to go home today? I'm sure that's exactly how you are. But that is what leadership really is. It's finding those things. We are not machines. Us humans, we're not. And you know, when we first got into business, we were machines. Like, we were told to go to work. You had to do this. You had to do it this way. You had to show up on this. It was almost military. We were
in a military town.
We're a military town. So we're very militant. Very militant, you know, like they threw paper at your face. They did all kinds of stuff. And we took that. We were in the military. So we took it. We just didn't want to go through it again. But just like you said, when we're in that position, we're not going to do it. Now, I was guilty of doing that a few times, like throwing stuff at their face, because that was the way I was taught. But then as I started to realize that, well, I'm losing salespeople, good ones. They want to go to different stores that they're not performing at the level that they should be. And all these things, I had to change my whole game up. I changed it to, I'm going to love them. Now, I'm going to love them, but I want also them to perform. I'm also going to love them to the point where I'll let them know when they're not performing. You know, you don't just sit there and let them know at the end of the month, well, you're not going to make it. You got to let them know as it's going on, almost on a daily, hey, you're tracking behind what's going on. And that's why having that walk around the showroom is so important, to see them in their face, know what's going on, and really feel what's going on. It's huge. And speaking of Shaka Dyson, we talked about him today.
There you go.
What's up, Shaka?
What's up,
yeah. So, you know, Shaka is a great finance trainer, folks. And, you know, he claims to be the #1 finance trainer in the world. And he probably is, because that Shaka is a beast, man. If you guys haven't met him yet, you guys need to check him out.
So I want to touch this real fast before we get ready to shut this down. And I want to hit this because there's this culture piece that we're plugging in here, right? Where you are making a showroom impervious to having to worry about a salesperson looking at another dealership or even considering working for somebody else, right? You can't really recruit each other's people because your people are grafted into your family, right? Brad, how has that been so far to have people like Robert that are, I mean, they'll run through the fire for you, and then also get connected to other people that are leading the way, like the Alex Flores's, the Glenn Lundy's, right? What is it that you would have to say is the most valuable thing inside of the people that you do end up finding that are going through that mission with you?
Well, desire is the #1 thing. Without that, you can't even talk to them. But if you have people with desire, this business has everything to offer. I mean, you're working selling cell phones isn't going to change your life. Working at Chick-fil-A is not going to change your life. Working in a car dealership, the right car dealership, the Dave Moss dealership,
I love that.
the Ferman Chevrolet, the Glenn Lundy, Dan Cummings Chevrolet, those places are out there. But unfortunately, there's a lot of them that aren't that way, that don't have leaders, meaning GMs, GSMs, sales managers that get it. And so the only people that survive in that environment are freaks. That they're just great, right? Like who?
That's true, though. It's true.
Here's the deal: you're going to deal with condescending managers all day. You're going to work 60 hours a week. You're going to work every holiday. Any day off you take, they're going to make you feel terrible about it, right? So that's just old school thinking. That isn't how many good people leave the car business, especially vendors that were really good in the car business, and a manager ran them out.
Yep.
It's either the bad schedule or the manager. That's the only reason they leave.
Come on.
Because the money's great.
Come on.
Yep.
Right. So if you eliminate those other two things, this can be the greatest career.
This business
There is.
when it comes to money, it's really unlimited.
Yeah, it is.
It's what you put
And
in
it's
is what
fun.
you're going to get
People
back.
are buying cars. They're happy.
Yeah, they are. You're really helping people. That's the thing.
You dressed up.
You get to dress up.
Go outside, fresh air, free coffee.
Wow.
That's right.
You know,
Coffee.
Get some coffees that bring you steaks instead of hot dogs.
Yeah,
Stuff
right.
like that. And sunglasses because
Goofy stuff happens on a car lot. It's kind of funny sometimes. You know?
Right?
That's a Ferman Chevrolet of Tampa. Ferman Chevrolet.
Well, car guys and car gals, we are so thankful that you took a little bit of time to hang out with us tonight. Jason Grimes, what's going on, brother? We appreciate you. Yes, we are about to get to the 3 Fs. So thankful that we've had everybody in here. Now, remember, we are here at the NOW event because we understand that the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. And solutionaries rising together like Dave, come on in. We got to get David Villa up in here. We're inside of his studio, so we got to get the man up in here. The one, the only Mr. David Villa.
What an event today, man. Thank you so much.
So we're about to forget, focus, and fly as we get out of here. So all you solutionaries out there with us, David, hang out as we forget, focus, and fly together. So go ahead and put your hands on your shoulders with me one time. Car guys and car gals, let's do what it is that solutionaries do and forgive, focus, and fly. So on 3, 1, 2, 3, forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing, keep growing. Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. David, we love you, brother. Oh, man. Lots of love up in here, everybody. Share this around. Get out of here.
All kinds of vendors that are just here to help. Vendors that are here to help you grow to the next level. So do not make